comes Christmas, a special time of year. We're coming together and everybody's full of cheer. It's not about riches or all of the toys. It's all about giving, spreading love and peace and joy. Bells are ringing, children singing,
everywhere you go.
I've longed for Christmas. I've longed for Christmas all year long. I've longed for Christmas. I've longed for Christmas. Now it's here. Christmas carols through the night. Let's all join in the celebration of His life. Of His life, yeah. Bells are ringing, children singing, everywhere you go. I've longed for Christmas. I've longed for Christmas all year long. I've longed for Christmas. No need for wishing, now it's here. We all should know, yeah, without snow, it's still Christmas. Ringing, children singing, and there you go, feeling His love, yeah. I've longed for Christmas. I've longed for Christmas all year long. I've longed for Christmas. I've longed for Christmas. Now it's here. I've longed for Christmas. I've longed for Christmas all year long. Time for celebration. No need for wishes. Now it is here. I've longed for Christmas. I've longed for Christmas. Now it's here.
Wherever you are right now, whatever your age, whatever your color, your gender identity, your chosen beliefs, whoever you love, you are welcome here. Whoever you are and wherever you come from, whomever you love, whomever you define as family, even if it's chosen family, you are welcome here. We unite in UU principles. We are a community of communities, spiritual seekers, taking action, called by our work for justice, united in covenant, and the spirit of love. We welcome all of you. So I'm Barb Holzhauer. One of my duties as a member of the Board of Trustees is to help out on certain Sundays, so here I am. There's lots of stuff coming up, and they especially wanted me to highlight the Split the Plate partner, Cage. There are still a few tags on the tree out there, I do believe, but we want to also thank those of you who have picked them up and purchase things and return them to our group, to the tree out there. Just a note that there's a drop-in potluck brunch on December 25th from 11 till 1, hosted by Jill and Mary Weirman. Bring your brunch, join in a simple Christmas Day potluck brunch in the community room. They'll have beverages and, of course, Kringle and Christmas music. I'm one of the weirdos who, I like Kringle, but I just wish it didn't have any frosting on it because I prefer the real taste of it. Let me see here. Oh, the worship exploration table is available for those of you who prefer to have something to do with your hands while you're listening. Move on to, I'm sorry? Oh, okay, I thought I missed something and I was getting prompted.
Good morning. It's so good to see all your faces here on this cold, gray morning, here in the depths of winter. Let's bring ourselves into a time of worship together with words from Elena Westbrook. In a world ravaged by violence, by hatred, by conflicts that seem eternal and insoluble, sometimes the only thing we can do is be still for a moment to remind ourselves what is real. The sun that rose this morning, the dirt under our feet, the air whispering in and out of our lungs. This hour, try just to be present in each moment as it unfolds. Your simple attention is what makes these moments holy. Come, let us worship. And now I invite us all to rise in body and or spirit, and we'll sing together hymn number 347, Gather the Spirit.
Gather the Spirit, harvest the power, our separate fires will kindle one flame. Witness the mystery of this hour, a fountain
Barb, you are so very invited, thoroughly invited this morning to light our chalice. And I invite you all to join me in reading our words for lighting our chalice, which are printed in your order of service. Suspended between all that was and all that might be, we strive to find this very moment, to live this very moment. Let us sit together for a moment and savor this moment. Let us relish this between time, where past meets future. Let us harbor a faith that reminds us that right now, right here, is enough. We enter now a time for sharing of joys and sorrows that touch our individual lives. This is one way we express through ritual the many ways that we care for one another. In a moment, you'll be invited to come to the mic to share aloud. If you have something you'd rather not share aloud, you can use the QR code on the order of service or the share side of the blue slip to put something in writing. Please know that at any time during the week, you can use the link in the e-news to let us know what's on your heart. And also, please know that what you share this morning is only for the ears of those gathered here now. It will not be in the posted video of the service or shared in our e-news. So now, come to the mic to speak if you choose to, or raise your hand and an usher will bring you a mic. I will light a candle for you, and after each sharing, I invite us all to respond with, "We hold you in love." You can form a line to the side. Please come. I'd like to light one last candle today, a candle of concern for the victims of the school shooting last Monday in Madison and for all victims of gun violence everywhere. To folks attending online, please know that we hold you in love as well. And now we place one last candle for all the joys and concerns that we hold in our hearts but that are left unspoken. Now let's pause and breathe together and hold together in this beautiful community all that has been shared. Will you join me now in a spirit of prayer or meditation? This morning, we remember that sorrow shared is sorrow divided, and that joy shared is joy multiplied. We send love and healing strength to all who are coping with illness, caring for loved ones, or living with grief. We hold in care all those who are struggling with depression, addiction, or loneliness. We celebrate with those who are achieving milestones and those who are bravely venturing into new beginnings. We send strength and gratitude to all who work to pass just laws that increase safety and flourishing and reduce violence for all people around this country and around the world. We give thanks for all those working for peace, protection, and liberation for the most vulnerable among us. May we all find ways, large and small, to resist oppression in all its forms. And may our communities be safe harbors of love and strength for all. I now invite you to remain seated, and we'll sing together hymn number 123, Spirit of Life.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me. Spirit of life, come unto me. Stay in my heart all the stirring of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
Good morning. Our reading this morning is More Than a Cup of Soup by Reverend Kathleen McTeague. Not far from where I work, there's a little hole-in-the-wall cafe, a good place to pick up a quick lunch. You have to be in the mood for soup, however, because all this place serves is soup, accompanied by a homemade bread roll. You also have to be feeling open-minded and flexible because there is only one kind of soup made fresh each day. Though sometimes you can also have yesterday's soup at a reduced price. The woman who works behind the counter always looks glad to be there, doing what she's doing, and she often knows her customers by name. Last week, there were a half dozen people waiting in line to be served, but she still lingered with an older man at the counter who already had his soup and bread in a paper bag. She asked after his health and then asked about his wife. She commiserated with him when he told her about their illnesses. When she said goodbye, she touched his hand lightly, smiled into his face, and told him she'd look for him tomorrow. It was a wonderful thing just then to be marooned on this little island of calm amidst the impatience, irritability, and general craziness of life, in a place where someone makes her living by patiently shaping and then serving two of the world's most basic and nourishing foods. It can't be an easy way to make a living, and it's surely no way to get rich. But there is serenity in the woman's face and a gentleness in her voice when she invites you to make the one simple choice available there: butter roll or rye. Watching her at work it's easy to believe that some small corner of the world's fabric is being patiently, lovingly stitched back together, and that something more gets carried out the door than a bag of bread and warm soup.
Well, here we are in the thick of the holiday season. I've heard from a lot of people that it's been tough to get into the spirit of it all this year. No? There's the heavy weight of the election results and the anticipation about what's coming. There are also all the personal losses, grief, and challenges that many of us are coping with. And there's a late Thanksgiving this year that made it seem like Christmas just popped up out of nowhere. I'm hearing from many folks that they're feeling behind or distracted or just kind of out of sorts with it all this year. So perhaps it is a good time, amidst all our planning for presence with a T, to explore together some things about presence with a C. The practice of being present to the moment we happen to be in at any time, and the gift of being present to and for one another. Practicing the gift of presence with one another can be so difficult. In a world that's increasingly fast-paced, full of distractions, with lives that are busy, sometimes moving at what feels like a frantic pace, we are often pulled in 100 directions. All kinds of things compete for our attention: work, be it paid or volunteer, family, friends, media in general, social media in particular, for many of us. There are days when we feel as though we've given a little piece of ourselves to every demand on our time, and by the end of the day, we may be left with nothing left in the tank. We may wonder where our true selves have gone and feel like there's nothing left. And yet, there is this thing that we can always give to another that requires nothing but our attention. It does not cost a dime, this gift. And in giving it, we find our deepest connection with others and the world. This is the gift of presence. What does it mean to be truly present with someone? I think it begins with letting go of some things that get in the way. These include a very human preoccupation with ruminating on the past and a tendency to project into and worry about the future. As much as anything, our own needs to fix, to solve, to offer advice and opinions, those get in the way of being present for someone. We can find ourselves so focused on what we want to say, waiting for our turn, or how we might make someone feel better, that we forget that the greatest gift we can offer is to simply be there. This kind of presence very often involves the practice of deep listening. If you've ever been part of a soul circle here or in another kind of covenant group in a faith community, you may be familiar with this practice of deep listening without crosstalk. A lot of folks familiar with this practice. It's common in 12-step groups as well. It's the practice of taking turns speaking into the circle without anyone else commenting, giving advice, or offering judgment. This is countercultural, and it's really hard for many of us. Our culture teaches us to be about fixing, getting 5 top tips about dealing with a problem, finding that one weird trick that will fix it, buying the perfect thing for it, or reading such and such a book, or listening to such and such a podcast. We all have that urge to share, to help. And while these things can be incredibly valuable and sometimes life-saving, they don't necessarily invite us into connection at a soul level and help us build relationship that way. Quick fixes don't tend to grow our souls and grow trust in the same way that the practice of presence and deep listening does. In his book, A Hidden Wholeness, The Journey Toward an Undivided Life, Parker Palmer explores the power of listening without comment or advice, this core practice of covenanted and 12-step groups. Palmer offers this particular metaphor about the way our souls need this kind of listening presence. He writes, "The soul is like a wild animal, tough, resilient, savvy, self-sufficient, and yet exceedingly shy. If we want to see a wild animal, the last thing we should do is go crashing through the woods, shouting for the creature to come out. But if we are willing to walk quietly into the woods and sit silently for an hour or two at the base of a tree, the creature we are waiting for may well emerge, and out of the corner of an eye, we will catch a glimpse of the precious wildness that we seek." In moments of crisis, presence becomes even more important, this gift of this kind of presence. When tragedy strikes or when we are dealing with pain and suffering, there are often no easy words, no platitudes or reassurances that can fully address the depth of our sorrow. But the gift of presence, the ability to show up, to sit quietly with someone, to offer our undivided attention, this can be transformative. I imagine you all have some experiences of that kind of presence. Parker Palmer tells a story about when he went through a period of severe depression in his life. Many people in his life wanted to help him by offering advice or comment, but it was not at all helpful for him, he writes, despite their good intentions. For example, some suggested getting outside and getting fresh air, but Palmer in that time couldn't feel a bit of that beauty. The advice only made him feel worse. Other would-be helpers tried to spruce up his self-image. Why so down on yourself? You've helped so many people. But Palmer could not hear that either. The depression was only deepened by his feeling that he had defrauded the person. Here's what Palmer came to believe about advice and presence in times like this. Quote, "The human soul doesn't want to be advised or fixed or saved. It simply wants to be witnessed, to be seen, heard, and companioned exactly as it is. When we make the kind of deep bow to the soul, that kind of deep bow to the soul of a suffering person, our respect reinforces the soul's healing resources, the only resources that can help the person make it through." Palmer goes on to say that many of us helper types are as concerned with being seen as good helpers as we are with serving the soul deep needs of the person who needs help. But witnessing and companioning take time and patience, which we often lack. That's the reality of being human, especially when we're in the presence of suffering so painful we can barely stand to be there. We want to apply our fix and then cut and run, figuring we've done the best we can to save the other person. Palmer relates how there was one friend who really did help his hurting soul during that time. Bill came to his house every day and sat him down in an easy chair and massaged his feet. Somehow, this was the thing that helped him feel a sense of connection, deep connection with another person, and it relieved his terrible sense of isolation while bearing silent witness to his condition. Bill made him less afraid of himself, he says, and helped save his life. I'd like to offer for our consideration a couple things that might help us in sharing this great gift of presence of ourselves. The first is approaching being present as a mind, body, spirit presence. I know for me, in moments when I seek to bring my whole self into presence to someone and I'm having a hard time with it, I have words that I say. They're the same words I start my morning prayer and meditation with. Spirit of life, source of love, I give thanks for the gift of this day. Whether I speak them silently or out loud, with those words I feel my shoulders drop, my whole body relax. I connect with the miracle that I am here and alive in this world at this particular moment. This helps me settle into the here and now. It helps me let go of the notion that I am in control of much of anything. I didn't make this day. I'm lucky to be here. Helps me let go of the desire to fix and to move into the next moment grounded in love, gratitude, and presence. A breath practice can help too. I'm sure many of you are meditators and know all about the breath practice. As in meditation, when we feel ourselves wandering away from the present moment, we can return our attention to the breath. We can let the breath anchor us in the right now, reminding us that right here, right now, we are enough. A second thing that can help with sharing the gift of presence is framing the gift of presence as an ethical commitment of our faith. I like thinking of it this way. As Unitarian Universalists, we are called not only to show up for ourselves, but to show up for one another and for the world. Our faith teaches us that we are all interconnected, that we are all part of a great interdependent web of existence. This interconnectedness calls us to practice presence not just with those we love or who are close to us, but with the wider community, paying attention to what's happening, and to share presence with the stranger, with people whose lives and experiences are very different from our own. Every person is worthy of that gift. Practicing presence in community, we affirm that we are not alone in this world. We ground ourselves in the great spiritual discipline of love, the discipline we put at the center of this faith, and through which we live out our values. We commit to showing up for one another, to listening without judgment, to supporting one another through the highs and lows of life. Being mindful of how love is the guiding force of this faith helps me with being present. When we practice presence, we become vessels through which love can flow. Love becomes unblocked by our distraction, our desire to comment or offer advice. Loving, witnessing presence builds and deepens our relationships and our communities. And ultimately, at the end of the day, giving the gift of our presence to other people, to the natural world, to communities, to working for justice, all these gifts are ultimately gifts to ourselves, I think. In the fullness of our lives, experiencing the moment that we are in right now, in all the glorious mess and all the joy and all the interconnectedness and all the challenge and all the magic that this world offers to us. How have you discovered thoughtful ways to give the gift of presence? I bet you have a few stories. Are there people at your work, in your neighborhood, or elsewhere in your world who might benefit from your loving presence and witness? Or maybe there's a new friend or an old friend who you would like to offer the gift of your presence to. Or maybe you yourself are most in need of your own listening and loving presence. I invite us all to carry the gift of presence with us. May we show up for those around us, not just in body, but with our full self and our spirit. May we offer our listening hearts our gentle presence. Whether it's in a moment of joy or sorrow, in a quiet conversation or a busy day, let us remember that the greatest gift we can offer one another is the simple, transformative act of being fully present. May it be so.
Oh, why you look so sad?
UU Church West's Split the Plate program is one of outreach and generosity. Each month, we give half of all undesignated offerings to a nonprofit organization to help us live out our Unitarian Universalist values, pursue the goal of social justice, and serve our community. Our Split the Plate partner for December is CAGE, Community Agricultural Growing Experience, a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping young black men express freedom and appreciation through gardening. Located on Reservoir Street in Milwaukee, the CAGE Garden volunteers offer hard work that has transformed not only the land, but also the lives of the teenage boys working there. Quentin Braithwaite, once in trouble with the law, found redemption and growth through gardening, which was part of his probation. Supported by his family and the CAGE community, Quentin has learned valuable life skills, culminating in a celebration of his anticipated bright future. In this brief video, Quentin shares his life-changing journey.
Before we started coming here and working, the garden wasn't like this. It wasn't beautiful how it look now.
That hard work helped the plants inside Milwaukee's CAGE Garden flourish. It helped the teenage boys working here grow too.
It's a stress reliever.
At 13th and Reservoir, Quentin Braithwaite is not cutting corners.
I'm trying to succeed in life. I'm trying to do good.
Saturday morning, his mom, Ebony Warren, watched him with pride.
They made me want to buy a tractor for him too. Because you can tell he enjoy it.
Warren says the 17-year-old has come a long way. She says he got into trouble with the law in 2021.
He got into a little trouble, made some wrong decisions, you know. Like I said, I feel someone got into his head.
He went to court, and Reina Morales was the judge.
If you have programs like this, you're teaching them how to self-regulate, and then you're keeping them in the community and allowing them to stay in the community.
Instead of spending time in jail, Quentin says he was monitored, and helping out in the garden became part of his sentence.
The reality is, if you send somebody to jail, they're going to come out. And what are the skills that you're giving somebody that you just sent to jail and they're coming out?
What I had did in the past, it was a lesson learned. But I know I learned from my mistakes.
Quentin Braithwaite says he stopped talking to those bad influences from his past.
I don't want to be in jail or dead. I want to continue having a family like I do.
Earlier this month, Braithwaite completed his probation and committed to coming to work in the garden. People celebrated him and his growth in a ceremony.
I ain't gonna lie, I dropped a few tears. It was exciting to see a lot of people come out there for me to celebrate Quentin Day, of being off of probation and changing his life for a second chance.
Growth thanks to hard work and dedication. In Milwaukee, Aaron Mabin, Fox 6 News.
We're pleased to support CAGE, and your contribution will aid their efforts. You can go to the UUCW's website and click the Donate tab, select Split the Plate from the menu provided, or you can text or mail in your donation using the information found here. We thank you most sincerely for your support.
Christmas Day, they're all for me. strong and marks the song of peace on earth, goodwill to men. Then peal the bells more loudly, O God, you're dead and now asleep. The wrong shall fail, the right prevail, with peace on earth, goodwill to peace on earth, goodwill to men. Peace on earth, goodwill to men. Peace on earth, goodwill to men.
Now I invite you to speak with me the words for dedicating our offering, which are printed in your order of service. To the work of this community, which is to ground ourselves in love and joy and to act for inclusion and justice, we dedicate ourselves, and these are offerings. Thank you, Barb.
This morning's meditation is from Upstream by Mary Oliver. Teach the children. We don't matter so much, but the children do. Show them daisies and the pale hepatica. Teach them the taste of sassafras and wintergreen, the lives of the blue sailors, mallow, sunbursts, the moccasin flower, and the frisky ones, inkberry, lamb's quarters, blueberries, and the aromatic ones, rosemary, oregano. Give them peppermint to put in their pockets as they go to school. Give them the fields and the woods and the possibility of the world salvaged from the lords of profit. Stand them in the stream, head them upstream. Rejoice as they learn to love this green space they live in, its sticks and leaves, and then the silent, beautiful blossoms.
Now let's rise in body and or spirit, and we'll sing together hymn number 6, Just as Long as I Have Breath.
Just as long as I have breath, I must answer yes to life. Though with pain I make my way, still will
to extinguish our chalice as I offer these closing words. May we ground ourselves in love as we offer the precious gift of our presence to those around us. May we witness one another's spirits and beauty in the same way that we pay attention to the daisies, the oregano, and the peppermint. And may each of you be blessed and be a blessing. May it be so.